Here is a 4-chord loop you have heard 1,000 times. Play it in C, and the chords are C, then G, then A minor, then F. Lovely. Now take the very same loop and play it in G instead, and the chords become G, then D, then E minor, then C. Stop and compare those 2 rows of letters. Not a single chord name matches. To your ear the song is identical, the rise and fall, the pull and the release, but on paper the letters have changed completely. So here is the question that this whole lesson answers. Is there a way to write down what that loop actually does, once, in a form that survives moving between keys? There is, and it has been hiding under the letters the entire time. Underneath both versions runs one code, written not in letters but in numbers, 1, 5, 6, 4. Those numbers describe the chords by their job inside the key, not by their pitch, and because of that they stay exactly the same no matter where you start. Learn to read these numbers and you learn a language that works in every key at once, a single sentence of harmony that you can drop into C, into G, into anything, and have it come out sounding like the same song every time. So where do these numbers come from? They come straight from the scale. Take C major, the 7 white notes, and build a triad on each one by stacking thirds, the skip a key shape from before. Start on C and stack C, E, G. That is the chord built on the first note of the scale, so we call it the 1 chord, written as a capital Roman numeral 1. Now move to the next note of the scale and do the same thing, D, F, A, a chord built on the 2nd degree, the 2 chord. Take the next note up, E, and stack thirds, E, G, B, the 3 chord. The next note, F, gives you F, A, C, the 4 chord. The next note, G, gives you G, B, D, the 5 chord. The next note, A, gives you A, C, E, the 6 chord. And the next note, B, gives you B, D, F, the 7 chord, right at the top. 7 notes in the scale, so 7 chords, numbered 1 through 7, each one just the stacked thirds triad sitting on that step. The numbers aren't arbitrary labels you have to memorize. Each one is simply the scale degree the chord is built on, counted from the bottom. That is the entire idea, and every key on earth is organized exactly this way. But look closer, because not all 7 of these chords are the same flavor, and the way we write the numerals tells you which is which at a glance. When you stack thirds from the white keys, the chords on the 1st, 4th, and 5th degrees come out major, bright, open, the strong, stable chords of the key. We mark those with capital letters, and we'll color them green. The chords on the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th degrees come out minor, softer, darker, more wistful. We mark those with lowercase letters, and they get the orange-red. And the chord built on the 7th degree, that lonely one at the top, comes out diminished, tense and unsettled, neither happy nor sad but anxious. We give it a lowercase numeral and a little circle, and it gets amber. So the case tells you everything. A capital numeral means a major chord, a lowercase numeral means a minor chord, and the small circle means diminished. 1, 4, and 5 stand tall in capitals. 2, 3, and 6 sit quietly in lowercase. 7 wears its little circle. You never have to wonder what quality a chord is, because the symbol is already shouting it at you. Now the payoff, the reason any of this is worth your time. Take a progression and write it in numbers, 1, 5, 6, 4. That is it, for numerals, no key attached yet. Now realize it in C. The 1 is C, the 5 is G, the 6 is A minor, the 4 is F. Play that and you get exactly the loop from the very start of this lesson. But watch what happens when we keep the numbers and change the key. Now jump to G and read the same for numerals there. The 1 is now G, the 5 is D, the 6 is E minor, and the 4 is C. They're different letters entirely, for brand new chord names, yet press play and it lands with the same shape, the same lift, the same arrival, the same feeling as before. That is the whole magic. The numerals describe the journey, and the key just decides which notes you use to take it. Write a progression once in Roman numerals and you have written it in all 12 keys simultaneously. A singer wants it higher? You don't rewrite a thing. You keep the numbers and pick a new starting note. Let's run it the other way, because reading numerals back into chords is the skill you'll use most. Here is a progression handed to you cold, in the key of C, 6, 4, 1, 5. Decode it, one numeral at a time. 6 is minor and lowercase, the chord on the 6th degree of C, which is A minor. 4 is major, the chord on the 4th degree, which is F. 1 is home, the chord on the 1st degree, plain C. And 5 is major, the chord on the 5th degree, which is G. Put them together and the numbers 6, 4, 1, 5 become A minor, F, C, and G. You didn't memorize that progression as for letters. You read it off the scale, the same way you'd sound out a word, and that means you can decode any numeral progression in any key the instant someone writes it down for you. So that is the whole tool, sitting in your hands. 7 numbers, 1 through 7, each one a chord built on a step of the scale, with capitals for major, lowercase for minor, and a circle for the diminished 1 at the top. From here on, harmony stops being a list of chord letters to memorize key by key, and becomes this, a universal language that any musician anywhere can read, write, and transpose on sight. A progression in numerals is the song stripped down to its bones, free of any one key. This is how chord progressions are written in theory books, on lead sheets, in your favorite songwriter's notebook, all of it. From now on, everything we build will be written this way. And what comes next is the most important question of all: why do certain numbers pull so strongly toward home, and how do songs use that pull to feel finished? That is cadences, and that is where we go from here.